We need him to do it. That's a big part of this with kind of the way the bench is right now and where the roster is at. We need him to do it. There's a lot of energy to the game when he's out there and he's feeling it and he's feeling good about it. I got a lot of confidence in where he's at mentally right now and his understanding of kind of what his role is on the team. And you throw him out there the other night in Boston and running into the wall the way he did. You don't ask any of your players to do it, but when you see a guy play the game that way, it gives you really good feelings and it makes you want to get him out there again.
The weather in Boston affected the starting rotation, but Sugano pitched today in the Japanese Heritage Day. Is it coincidence?
No, not coincidence. Probably more the weather, but I'm glad it worked out that way. That makes a lot of sense.
I see that you, in college, your degree is in organizational and human development.
Yeah.
Did that teach you anything? Did that teach you anything that you're using in the job here?
Yeah, we laugh about it. There's a lot of Vanderbilt people in Major League Baseball right now, and when I went there, I think my mom had convinced me to major in political science. So naturally I signed up for that, and then I got a call from the baseball coaches there and said, hey, you probably want to do human and organizational development. It's called HOD. And I think, at the time it was probably maybe the easier one at that school because there's not a lot of easy ones, right? Maybe the athlete majors, so they would say. But after going through it, I don't know if I could have picked out something better for the job I'm sitting in right now. It's just dealing with people's communications. It's the psychology of a organization. It's the environment in the clubhouse. It's all the things that you would possibly need and walking into the job that I'm sitting in right now, or even just as a coach. I mean, that's that major. So it's very thankful that they pushed me that way.
How have you seen Charlie Morton respond to failure this year?
I mean, the fact that you take a guy that has the experience that he has in the big leagues and the success. I was trying to figure out today if it was 1 or 2 World Series that he's won. 2. What was it the Braves and then who else? Okay, that's what it was. And he comes here and it goes the way that it does. And then you put him in the bullpen, and then we have him scheduled to be a starter, but then we're asking him to go down to the bullpen and be emergency relief just in case we run out of pitching for doubleheaders and just the circumstances we've been under. And he did it so gracefully and with no questions asked, just absolutely, I can do that. So just the way in which he has handled this whole thing has just been incredible, the adversity that he's had. And he absolutely deserved the start that he had yesterday. And we're excited about him. I mean, we've kind of seen this the last 4 or 5 outings, so he's part of the solution for us, no doubt.
選手と距離が近いのかなっていう感じがするんで、そこはいいのかなと思います。
Obviously, Japan, as you mentioned, Japan has this culture of sort of respecting the elders, speaking in a different tone, different way to the elders. Obviously, the managers as well. That's a good part of Japanese culture. Over here, I'm not sure if the word is right, but it's more casual, friendly. So that's what I like about here.
Who was the player that you ultimately looked up to when you were growing up? How early did you decide that you wanted to pursue baseball?
子供の時にリスペクトしていた野球選手ってどなたですか？
上原さん。
当時上原。
And what was it like for you to balance? Obviously, there's an expectation to have academics, to have a balanced life outside of that. How did you keep up with everything?
野球と勉学を両立するっていうのは、どういうふうにキープアップしてましたか？
正直頭は悪くない方だったので、でも塾に行ったりとか、あと父がすごく勉強に対して厳しかったので。
Luckily I was more on the smarter side and like studying. And my father was pretty strict on studying too, so I guess that helped.
Knowing that, was your father supportive of you wanting to be an athlete?
アスリートになるってことに対してはお父さんは結構サポートしてくれた方ですか？
そうですね。父も野球をずっとやってたので、すごく厳しく育ててもらったと思います。
My father had also played baseball, so he was also really strict on baseball as well.
When you look at how Japanese baseball has grown here in the States, you mentioned Koji. We've seen so many tremendous names over the years. Ichiro obviously brings a lot of people to mind. The Dodgers have made such a big splash now. How encouraging is that for you, just to watch these two worlds kind of start to share a little bit?
日本の野球っていう意味でも、先ほど名前が挙がった上原さんであったりとか、イチローさん、あとは大谷翔平さんであったりとか、今で言えば LA ドジャースっていうようなチームが、日本の野球が結構象徴されるようになってきたんですけど、それに関してはなんかちょっと言うこととかありますか？
やっぱりすごいね、そういう人たちがいて初めて注目されてしてもらえると思うので、うちのチームもオリオールズもいつかそういうチームに日本にとってすごくポピュラーな球団になることを願ってます。
Yeah, thanks to all those big names that came over from Japan, Japanese baseball has been kind of exposed to the world. So hopefully, I can do that here with the Orioles as well. People in Japan would know the name Orioles.
Seems to be kind of the story of us here the last couple of weeks is the double headers and just kind of everything with the bullpen. So obviously we're a little bit short going into tonight. We were short last night, still able to pull it out. The first two innings of the way it goes for Sugano probably wasn't ideal for us, but he settled down. Got us pretty deep into the game, probably more than what we were expecting at that point. And the whole thing kind of set up where we probably had 4 guys to cover 3 innings there that we felt really good about. It set up good. The pocket set up good. It just didn't go our way.
What were you seeing out there in the outfield in the 8th inning?
With our outfielders, we got a guy that's a rookie in the major leagues, and then we have an infielder playing the outfield, partly because of the injury situation right now. So they played really well. It's a wet night. It's tough. The ball's flying. Their outfielders made their plays, but there were a couple balls that, when they're up in there, it didn't look super confident at times. So I think the conditions were really tough tonight. Our guys did the best they could for what we're asked, and that's what we got.
How tired is this bullpen? I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but doubleheader, you've been relying on them a lot. Did you get a sense that today was maybe an example of your bullpen being pretty taxed?
We've been on fumes for a few days. So, we've rolled off a few games here in a row. In the coach's room, we have the sheet. We know where we're at. We're talking to the players. And we felt very fortunate here the last few days that has kind of set up perfectly for us. And it actually set up again pretty good for us tonight. Sugano got us into a good spot. And, because of the 16, 17, or 18 games in a row that we've had, because of the double headers, because of the long games, I think it just kind of took its toll on us tonight, and that's okay.
Brian Baker's been so good for so much of this year. How tough is it to watch him go through a stretch like that in the 8th?
I think it's going to happen for everybody. We've really relied on him heavily here recently, and he has been so good. And, when we put him out there, we know we're asking a lot, but we're asking a lot of that whole group right now. I think as we get through these next couple off days, it'll probably settle us down a little bit and kind of reset the pen and try to get back to what they've been doing here recently.
Tony, you got the big hit from O'Hearn, but 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. A little frustrating not to be able to break through with some of those opportunities you had.
Their pitching was good tonight. I mean, you look at the Payante guy and kind of what his fastball was doing, and cutting it, sinking it. It had life. It was jumping. The big front arm. That was a tough at-bat, and the guys battled. They did a good job. It's a heck of a bullpen as well. So as I watched the at-bats, I think you guys all did too, it felt competitive. It felt good. It felt like we were in it. A couple big hits here or there. It might have been a different story, but, I appreciate the effort and the battle.
How much of a grind were those first 2 innings, 51 pitches, and how pleased were you that you were able to get through the middle innings?
今日 1,2 回で51球と、結構序盤タフな感じだったんですけど、そこをどういうふうに乗り越えましたか？
とにかくその初回ね1点で終われたってところが今日のピッチングの、最終的な結果のね全てだと思うし、よく粘れたなっていうふうに思うので、はい。
I think I was able to, get out of that first inning with 1 run, giving up 1 run. That was a big moment for me today.
How did you settle in after that? You retired 11 of the next 12 after from second inning on.
2回以降その後結構落ち着いて投げられてたと思うんですけど、その要因っていうのは何だったんでしょうか？
たくさん要因もあるんですけど、キャッチャーとうまく 初めてのコンビだったので、話し合いながら、進めることができたっていうのが一番大きな要因だと思います。
I think the biggest, reason for being able to get out of that first inning and go through the second inning on was communication with Trumpy. It was my first time. Him catching me was the first time for me, but I think communicating with him well was key.
How challenging was it to just get to feel on pitches when you're dealing with some wet weather?
こうした雨の中で湿気がある中でのグリップだったりとかっていう球へのフィーリングっていうのは、タフだったと思うんですけど、どのように調整できましたか？
相手も同じ条件なんで、そこはあんまり深く考えすぎず、目の前のバッターを抑えるってことに集中してました。
The opponent hitters or the pitcher has the same issue, so I didn't really think of it too much. Just focused on each hitter facing in front of me.